Okay, welcome to Basic Arithmetic. In this lesson, we're going to take a look at just some basic math. And this is really, really important to know because we can do some really cool things with simple mathematics. So, for example, we're going to be talking about addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, exponents, and this thing called modulus, which is really just a remainder. It's a really fancy word for remainder. And so what you see in front of me here is I have just gone to File, Open, and I opened a whole folder called Python 101, and you can do this on your VS Code as well, and it just opened up this folder for me. So all of my working files are going to be on the side on the left here. And so I want to go over to View and open up my terminal again. And this way we've got our files on the left, and we have our terminal at the bottom, and we can write some code up top in here. And so let's take a look at some basic arithmetic. Now there's two ways we can execute Python. We can execute Python in a .py file like we did in the last lesson where we had hello world, or in your terminal, wherever you want to use that, you can simply type Python. And if you want to get out of this Python shell, we can just type quit, opening and closing parentheses, and that will quit it for us. So I could type Python 3.9. And you can see that the first one was using Python 3.8 because I haven't made that alias yet. I said I was going to, but I haven't got around to it yet. And this one is Python 3.9. And so now we can do some basic arithmetic in here. Let's go ahead and move this up. And let's do some basic arithmetic. So we could do like 5 plus 5 is going to be 10. And this is just executing simple Python for us right in our Python shell. So that's addition. We just use the plus sign. Subtraction is very, very similar. Let's go ahead and make this just a wee bit bigger here. We could do like 99 minus 11. That's going to give us 88. 4 times 4 is going to be 16, and we just use an asterisk. So on a standard North American English keyboard, you use Shift 8, and that gives you this little character here. And so when I hit enter, that's going to be 16. Division is just a slash, just like that. So we could do 100 divided by 25, and that's going to give us 4. And you can actually see that gave us 4.0. That's technically a float. That's not an integer. We're going to talk about these in the future. Now to clear your terminal, let's say I write a bunch of stuff and it gives me errors. I can just hit Control L. Control L tends to clean out the terminal for me. So that's what I'm going to be doing in the future. Now let's talk about exponents. We could do 4 to the power of 4. That's two multiplication signs side by side. That is the power of. So in other languages, it sometimes looks like this, 4 to the power of 4. In Python, it's 4 star star 4, and that gives us an exponent. So this is going to be 4 times 4 times 4, which in my mind is going to be 64. Nope, I was super wrong, 256. This is why we let computers do mathematics for us. And then we have this weird one called modulus, M-O-D-U-L-U-S, modulus. And all this is going to do is give us a remainder. So if we did 10 divided by 3, we're going to see 3.3333335. It's a weird one. So let's say we wanted the remainder. So 3 goes into 10 3 times, so 369, and it has a remainder of 1. So we can do modulus here. And to get that remainder, we use the modulus sign, which is really simply a percent sign. So we could do modulus 3, and this is going to give us 1. And again, that goes 369, and then it basically takes that last number and says 10 minus 9, and that gives us our remainder. And so if you remember doing long division, well, maybe not remember how to do long division, but if you remember long division from school, it's basically that. It's going to give us the remainder very easily. We don't have to do any sort of long division. And in fact, a lot of people think you need to know a lot of math to get into web development or into programming or into Python. The truth is you do not. And here is the case in point. I could do something like 88 modulus 6.4. Now, I don't remember how to do long division. It's a fairly simple thing in mathematics, but I just don't remember how to do it. That was a long time ago for me. And that was an unexpected indent. If you ever see that, you probably have an extra space in there. And this is going to give us a modulus of 4.799999999999995. And so I don't need to know long division anymore. The computer knows how to do it. And that is the nice thing about pretty much all programming languages, not just Python, but all programming languages can do this. So what I would like you to do is go ahead and try some basic addition, subtraction, division, multiplication. Try modulus, and also try exponents. Now, truth be told, you're not actually going to be using modulus and exponents all that often. You probably won't even really use multiplication all that often, or maybe even division all that often in web development. But in data science, you're going to use these all the time, and these are very, very important, especially when you get into things like algorithms, if you ever wanted to get into algorithms. Now, in web development, you don't need to get into algorithms. It's not really all that important unless you're working for Google and you're working with Google's search division, which is pretty unique. Most web development, you don't need that. So go ahead and give addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, modulus, and exponents a try. Make sure you open up your Python terminal. So again, quit. And I just went into Python, and that goes straight into my Python terminal for me, or my Python shell, as I call it, to the Python shell. And to quit, you just type quit parentheses, and that gets you out. When you're done that, let's head on over to the next lesson where we learn about variables.